Hey guys, how you doing? Oh, don't get old, guys, alright? Old like me. So hard to move around sometimes. I'm gonna increase my... There we go. That's good. I have my fan on because I'm cold. Or no, I think that's an air filter. But it makes noise, so... I need to hear my volume a little better. I'm trying to speak up, so I should be okay. I won't stream as long this time. Last time I said that, it ended up being a 5-hour stream, and 2 hours of that was on an oil rig, where I had to wait 10 minutes to get new ammo. But oh well, it doesn't matter. I won't be doing any of that today. Where am I? Oh, I'm right next to. So I found the new place for the resort. It's a beautiful place, and there's no spawn points nearby. I need my grapple. Hold on. Yeah, I had a weird dream today. Like, it was a... What was it? I forgot now. No. It was a weird dream that was just like... I was owning a hot dog stand. I think I was owning like a hot dog stand or something. Sorry about that, I had to adjust my screen. I was like owning a hot dog stand. I don't know what's up with me and dreams of hot dog stands. I had dreams of my school friends back then when they had hot dog stands. Yo, check that out. I gotta kill. I'm saving this one for you. Yay, more honey. Whew. Where? That means I have to go somewhere and do it. That's fine, I'll be fine. Anyways, let me show you the new resort. Let me show you the new resort that I was working on. Let me slowly make it there. Pikachu! You check it out. There it is. It's the new resort. Oh, it's the Griswold catcher. The Pikachu! I actually got a Griswold plushie myself now. So this area is nice and sweet. I like it. Is the dungeon open? Nope. What the? Thought I saw him in there. Never mind. tree. I think I'm still building this, yeah. Might, let me see. Yeah, we got the technology for it. Let me actually... There we go. And we did it. Now we just need something in the middle. Hold on. Antique round table. Okay, let's do that. Look out, look, it's Pikachu! There we go, now he's happy. Oh, we don't need the chain gun. The Gatling gun. Oh, there's Katie. And her party hat. She's a party animal, look at her. Can you shove them on chairs? Let me see. Yeah, you can, but they won't sit. She'll do that instead. So, let's have a discussion about some things. So, let me get positioned, hold on. When I do streams, I sit on the bed. Because, you know, I don't have a desk. Oh, no, Katie, don't do this to me. Oh, no, look at that face. Sadness. So it's a lot of depression. Oh, I'm doing that teleporting thing. Is depressos teleport when they're depressed? That's how it works. Oh, there's Gia. Don't do that to me. You're so sweet, girl. Get in the tub. There you go. So, what? Let me see. Apparently you could send them on missions now. Xenoloord Ultra Slab Fragment? Wait, you can get Ultra Fragments? I didn't know that existed. The illegal factory is the one you better go to. We'll send someone there. Let's see. One Ripto is enough to actually rip the whole rip the whole thing. And, let's see. Send out Herc. He'll get the job done. twice the power. You double the gun, you double the fun. That's how it works. Good luck, guys. Oh god, Garloth is going really slow. That's a big elephant. And a big bee. And a shark. Bye, Thor. Good luck. I'll send you in there, Spritle. Actually, I need iron, so hold on. That's too bad. I like that song. But I need iron for this table. Oh, wait. I could have gotten iron from that. Oh, no. Hold on. Those are some angry birds in that room. What was I looking for? Oh yeah, iron table. There we go. I wonder where everyone went. My god, without the music, it's kind of depressing. Not just because Katie's here. That's a different thing. Okay, now it's depressing. Oh no, sadness. Katie, don't do this. Don't be sad. Don't be espresso. Oh my god, look at her. She is upset. Look at that sad face. Now that's a lot of depression. Kind of fun to see them all just run in there. I don't have refined iron. I can't fix them. Oh wait, I do. I just don't have polymer and carbon fiber, which I could make, but I don't have the carbon fiber for it. I mean, whatever, man. No, I have. Could I actually do that? I mean, I probably can't, but I could try. Let me see. I have to get polymer, which means I need to use high quality pal oil, which I probably don't have here. Then I'll need, well, I'll definitely need this, a furnace. So let me see where to put it. Oh, probably right here. There we go. Alright, we need charcoal. Now we need a fire type. Here we go. This will be a bit. What? Oh, did I cancel it? Damn it. I have to send them back in again. Oh. Is the garbage already here? Oh man, I have to wait 4 minutes again. Alright. While 4 minutes is going on, that'll probably give him the... I could probably just get... Wait. I could also get Jacko to do this job. Hold on. To make carbon fiber... Oh, poop. I need a... this, but I can make nails. Which will then give me the ability to make a high quality pal bench. And that will give me the ability to make carbon fiber. I hope so. High quality workbench. Okay. I want to tear that down. Put this here. Alright. It's done. Alright. Now we can make carbon fiber, I think. And now no, we can't. I am sad. I can make a sword. I'm surprised you can make a sword on there. You can make a beam sword. Oh, on a wait. That ain't right. It doesn't say you need. That's weird. Okay. Forget it. We have charcoal, but we don't have the stuff. Look at the ghost. There's the sound of the garbage people. I don't like saying that though, but that's really what they are. They handle the garbage. Oh man. Alright. Now you got the shit for it. Let's do this. That will not be enough. Besides, just use the coal. Alright. I got a good handy worker here. Oh, we got Spritle with me. I guess it's better than nothing. Yes, Spritle is better than nothing. Yo, we got the pussy force over here. Small pussies. Alright, I'm gonna need the carbon fiber now. Wait, where'd you put it? Where'd they put it? Oh, there it is. 158. I could probably fix 2 guns with that. So, let's talk about something I remember earlier. Earlier, I watched a video about Stitch's Great Escape and the defunct of it. To be honest, I actually liked it. I thought it was nice. I thought it was cool. Probably because I like Stitch, so, you know, naturally going to be a fan. It wasn't the best ride, I'll give it that. And it was certainly okay, though. It wasn't bad. I need a different pal. So, I saw the history of it. I was like, really interesting. Such a big history to a relatively okay, ride. I'm a little shocked by that. Sorry, Sprittles always get the better crafty lady. Crafty pussy. And she's the only one that's working right now. I should get... Oh, we got a Bellinor doing it. Looks like she's conducting with that. She's a night lady, that's what she is. That's a big pussy. I like the Kitsen Noct. Those are interesting. So, apparently, the ride itself used to be a different ride called, what is it, Alien Encounter. It used to be called Alien Encounter. That's pretty. That is, it's in it itself is interesting. Apparently, it was a very intense ride. Something that was not. It was more to a grown up audience. Okay. Now that I got that, I should head to the. So, Alien Encounter was a very intense ride for people back then. I'm sure maybe my dad might know what that is. I'm sure maybe. I'm not sure. He might have heard of it. Well, relatively, I guess people weren't happy with that, as Alien Encounter was actually a good ride, I guess? I don't know. I never went to it because, you know, when it first opened, I was a baby. I think it opened in 2003. And when I first went to Disneyland, or Disney World, well, it was closed by the time I actually got to go there for the first time. Wait a second. Nah, never mind. Oh, it's Becky. Major depression. Oh, poop. Oh, you gonna cry? I just killed one of your friends. Gemini tamers. Who are those guys? Well, both of them died. One of them sent out a Lylene. I couldn't tell which one happened. Come on, man. All you had to do was stay in there. Oh my god. Holy crap. What'd you do? Oh my god. Who killed this lady? Whatever they did, it looks like you went into one of those car compactors. Oh, oh god, that's wrong. Oh, one of those did that. That could have been major depression. doing, Becky? You know what? It was probably you. You compacted somebody. What about the other lady? I didn't see. Oh, damn. That's just unfortunate, man. It didn't have to go this way. And I am literally looking at a human compaction. This is... this is terrifying. It's like if someone tried to copy the Metroid ability.
Yep.
So I think she's Zero Suit Samus over here, but really she's just dead. Ooh, Sierra. I don't know who would have compacted someone. Could have been Stinger. Could have been Eloise. Nah, she wouldn't have done that. Nah, it was Becky. Look at her. She's at the gun. She's happy. Look, she's still dancing. Yeah, it was Becky.
Yep.
Well, that was very violent, and I feel like that shouldn't have been seen on the stream. But what you gonna do about it, huh? I got the cold armor. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna grab refined iron. I even got that in this chest. No, I don't have refined iron. No, yeah, I don't.
Yep.
High quality oil. Hey, wait a second. Nah, I already got it. Never mind. Where's Major? Oh, there you are. Are you eating a good meal? Eating the fries? So, motivational Joker quotes is also a thing. I mean, sure, they kind of died out as time went on. And I forgot you can't cook on these anymore. Now I have to rely on Ghost to make my toast. Fries. Damn it, now they're gone. Jacko ate it. He ate my fries. No, it was Sierra. She took my food. Took my fries. Hey, this food is needs to be cooled. Can someone... Oh, thank you. Wow, what do you know? She actually did it. And she's a slacker. That's kind of funny. Okay, my Joker quote, cool epic boy quotes. Exercise? I thought you said extra fries. That's definitely something I'd say. Yes, I do like fries. My favorite type of fries I actually like to eat very much, yes, is, what is it? Very specific. Waffle fries, I really like those. Can I use Depresso's tears for the watering? I'm carrying a water can. And a bag. There she goes. I got an upskirt shot from Blaze. Blaze, we talked about this. No, 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 no. We talked about this. She's what? Okay, so let's actually we have the materials here. We might as well just do it. Wait a second. All the refined iron is at the other place. Yeah, all the refined ingots are actually in a different spot. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna try and go to the desert and pick up some ammo today. Pick up some rockets. I meant, sorry, sorry, I'm stupid. So, hatch his egg since we're here. That's a vert. Whoa, interesting.
What?
You think there's gonna be a Verdash Ignis that's just gonna essentially be a Cinderace? That'd be nice. Speaking of that, I never really liked the term Pokemon with guns, because it takes a while to actually get the guns, so it's not really that. It's like mostly Pokemon with spears or crossbows, pretty much. And then Nintendo sued them because a lot of crybabies said they wanted it to be sued. I don't know what vendetta they have against Palworld, but the tears of babies were always definitely the things that got me the ladies. I have no idea what I said there. You are depressed. I'm gonna get you some help. Don't turn away from the help. Accept the help that you want. You're not alone. Look, I don't want to make fun of depression. I mean, I have it myself, but I don't get why they say you're not alone and they expect you to call some service that gets paid to listen to you. I mean, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I mean, some people don't exactly have friends or family members and need to talk to someone. But I feel like there should be a better way of doing it. People that don't have like 20 minutes for you to talk to and then hang up on you.
What?
I never was the fan of that. Well, just screw it. Talk to me if you need to. I'll listen to you as long as you need. I'm always here for anyone, even strangers.
Yeah.
See, I may look like some idiot, and I am. But I care about people. I really do. Just like Galaxia here. And if somebody's ever dealing with issues like this, then don't feel afraid to just talk to me. I'm not your dad. I'm not your son. I may not be your friend, but I'd like to. I'm not your boyfriend. And I'm not your cousin or your therapist. But I'm a pal. Not like a pal, but I'm a buddy. I'm always here to work things out with you. No viewer of mine would ever need to be sad. This shotgun needs more attention. So we'll just do that. Besides, I use it a lot. plan to get the fire version. In fact, I'm gonna go there right now. There's Syndicate crossbow or marksman, and I'm like thinking, wow, crazy ass shit. So I recommend go to someone who can understand you. I feel like the suicide hotline is not exactly the best source of somebody to talk to. I mean, it's very much not the best. They have limited time. They're like immune to all this talk and stuff. They listen to people like every day. There's like no real feeling behind it. The thing that people want is not a licensed therapist. It's a shoulder to hold, to lie on. And I know that because there was a period of time where that's all I wanted. So before we change the topic, if you're ever going through anything that's difficult or hard to deal with, or perhaps you feel alone, or perhaps you feel useless, or you haven't accomplished anything, I stand with you. I understand. I understand it way too much. Now, what do you say we kick this oil rig some ass?
What? What? Oh.
Okay, well, he's gone. He won't catch me. I won't see him ever again. Oh. You see, this guy, he needs a new job. Quit it, alarm. I'll shoot you. Oh man, that was Los Angeles gang member execution right there. You know how they put the gun directly behind your cortex? Sorry, I took health classes, so now I label things what they're actually called. And I didn't even I couldn't even get through it because it was a scam, essentially. I mean, I went in there pretty much free, but you know. I really don't like ranting about school stuff, especially like personal life things, but I just need to get this off my chest. It still pisses me off. It still pisses me off quite a bit. Hang on. I got a lot to go off here. Let me open the chat just in case there's someone there. No messages. Okay, let me make sure it was updated. Okay, so it's a how do I say it? So I went in for something, and I had to take a few classes for it. A health class because it's about the body. What's up with him? I had to take obviously principles, meaning it's like basically everything about it, and then the introduction part, and then there was a part that I had. There's one that I take that's about like, well, the actual techniques. Yes, I went in for massage therapy.
Yeah.
I was planning on being an actual therapist here. While I didn't pass the first year, hey, your guy does know Swedish now, so hey,
Yep.
I don't know what's to brag about it, but it's a useful skill. So I at least went out learning something. That's all I can say. There we go. He's dead. Oh no. He didn't make it. He passed away. If I ever die, I wanna go out making a death sound. I wanna go out making a funny Palworld death sound. That's how a real man dies. So I had two teachers. I don't want to put them on full blast, so I'm gonna call one Mrs. C and Mrs. B. That's the first letter of their names. So I've been getting letters from this college. It's a technical college, meaning it's like a. It's not exactly like a university, or it's like something you don't have dorms that you go for like a few years and stuff. And so I went there, and when I did, I went in for the subject that I was gonna do because my dad told me that I could start one up and do interesting and get lots of money and tips and stuff. And I realized, you know what, that's an okay decision. And all I have to do is go for 1 year because in South Carolina you need like 600 hours or something. I think I'm not sure. I think that was it. And once I did that, that's when I was doing okay. I had to do like online classes and then the actual class going inside. So the two teachers, Mrs. C and Mrs. B, Mrs. B taught the health portion and was more of the medical part, while Mrs. C was probably one of the like spiritual ones, like spiritual meanings, but also like she wasn't like a nut. She was like just someone that was like saying, yeah, spirituality can have connections in the medical field. And I was like, okay, at least she's not a nut. I'm telling a story here, level 15. Baron, can you do something? Wait, you know what? Hold on. Small pussy, go! Never mind, just go get him, please. this. I don't have to be on top of you just to do it. Now, take this guy out, teach him a lesson. So, as I said, I took Mrs. B's class was an hour and 20 minutes long. Now that's a short ass class, yes, but I went in at like 7 in the morning or some shit, or 8 in the morning, left at 9:20. And Mrs. C's class was about a 4-hour shift. I mean, 4-hour class. And I did the actual massaging part. I did that pretty much every time. Now the problem came in when I was the online classes were fine, but the problems were the tests. Yes, college tests are hard, but they shouldn't have been this hard because I studied for every single answer and I managed to get it all wrong. Well, not all wrong. I did pretty well, but unfortunately, the tests, I ended up getting 40s and 30s and stuff. And that really busted my self-esteem, and I gained weight and stuff, and my dad was not happy with it. And my grandma wanted to go in and yell, "This is incompetent." She's like your typical Karen, but you know what, it's at least nice that she took a side. Is there something blocking it or something?
What?
There we go. So, I ended up getting like, at first it was okay. Literally, the first week of tests. Or, I think, yeah. The first week of tests. I got through until October. So, when I was taking the tests, let's say that they changed the way you were able to do. Originally, you were able to pull out your book and take the tests there. But then they changed it this time, and I don't know why, but whoever did needs to be shot. They said you can't bring your book in and just have to base it off on memory. And I was like, I mean, you're really setting yourself up. This is like a double-bladed sword here. I mean, they want people to pass. I don't know why they said, you know what, I think people should fail. And not only that, a good amount of the tests were like literally lying. No joke. When I was taking a test, it said they were labeled. You could have one on chapter 1 and 2, but then you ended up seeing questions that were meant for chapter 12. So basically, students had to look through the entire damn textbooks just to understand what they were getting into. And unfortunately, a friend of mine, Jericho, who's a good friend, and maybe you'll see him one day, has been getting screwed over too. And I called him very frequently during class. Well, not during class, but while I was in school. And no, I was not crazy. It was happening to him too. He was getting conned. He was getting lied by these tests. They were literally on things that I couldn't study for. My dad literally had to help me because it was stressing out, and even he was failing. My dad was essentially doing this at some point. I was doing fine on my own, but then I was like, Dad, something's wrong with these tests. I can't pass them. And I'm doing everything right. So even when my dad came in and started helping me, not in the class, of course, but, you know, on the tests, on the online part, he was helping me study. And next thing you know, I was still failing. I was getting the same grades. I didn't get higher or lower. Literally, I was studying and I couldn't pass it. I mean, I am stupid, yes. I am very, very stupid, big stupid brain, but I'm not that stupid. I can study and pass, but I can't study and fail. And that's how I knew something was very, very wrong. And so, basically, my friend told me, yes, there was something very wrong about it. It was not adding up. Who's chasing me? Oh. Come on, man, use your head. Come on, man, I'm better at shooting. Stupid lag. Anyways. Who now? Alright, there. I'm trying to tell a story. Alright. So, eventually I realized I can't do this no more. Oh my god, man. So I realized I couldn't do it at some point. And so I was like thinking I should probably just drop out. And so there's a point, at least in the college that I was at. I'm not sure, maybe there was a point in time where like there was a point in time that, you know, where you can drop out and then you keep the money that you spent or your tuition and go next year, because if you don't fail, then you can keep your tuition, but if you do, then that goes on your record. And so basically after that I went into the class and I talked with Mrs. C and Mrs. B, and I talked to them, told them I was going to leave. And they didn't bother giving fire arrow crossbow schematic 1. Oh man. They didn't bother giving like some sort of arrangement or anything, or possible anything. I mean, I wasn't expecting them to get down and grovel, but I was expecting them to at least make some sort of effort. But what happened was, when I went in and said that, they basically told me what I just told you. That if you were to drop out now, this would be the time to do it. Something about that just seems wrong, but it at least gave me confirmation that like I can go in and not have to worry about losing shit. Just use your gun. Okay. Sorry. Just use your gun. Okay. I did not expect that response. Okay, no success. No awesome crossbow. Wait, there's a chest over there. Damn it, there's another guy. No, damn it. Damn it, they blue balls me with that. I'm so angry, I'll shoot him. So basically, at that point, I just left. And I feel bad, I'll be honest. I mean, I have no regrets, but at the same time I really wish I helped some of the other students. And you know what? I guess I did. Because after I left, it seems like things have gotten a little better as months went on. Like 3 months after I left, things apparently got a lot better, and essentially kids are passing now. To my guess, it went from like 60s to 50s average grade back to like 80s and 90s.
What?
So, and Mrs. C left. So, unfortunately, the real problem was Mrs. B. She seemed to be the least amount of helpful, and was just letting me fail. Like, if he keep, like, my dad sent multiple emails. One of them said if this keeps happening, he's gonna fail, and she just responded with, "I know." I mean, I don't know what else you do at that point. I mean, so that's how I left college. I know I made a post about it saying I'm going to college, but that won't affect my thing, and unfortunately it did. I felt so drained, and I'm like thinking, you're supposed to like decline and get rid of people in your life and stop doing fun things and stuff and focus on college. Come on, man, that's not how life works. It's a year. It's like 1 year of class, and you're making it you're making it impossible, and then you're telling us that we can't have fun. Well, we're not having fun because you're making this impossible for everyone. And so that's when Peter died. Well, no, I didn't die, but that's when I got sad. And honestly, I'm sorry if anybody thought that maybe I was, I don't know. If you guys think maybe that was an over exaggeration, I mean, I don't think it was. I think what I did was just, I mean, who wouldn't? I would have just left. What if I do decide to go back for a different thing? I wouldn't want to fail on my record just because I basically got shafted. I'm not a stupid person, as I said before. I can get things done, but unfortunately I have a learning disability. So things are extra harder for me to understand. I have trouble understanding directions, let alone anatomy and every single muscle and bone and neuron. So, yeah, that's why I'm a college dropout. It's pretty funny, though, to be honest, to say I'm a college dropout. Well, at least I'm not a high school dropout. So, no crossbow, no schematic. So, yeah, that's the story of that. I never really told it because, in general, I wasn't very proud of it. It was not exactly a highlight of my life, and it was probably one of the most stressful things in my life. And to say, all the stress would have actually led to nothing. It makes me more stressed when I think about the fact that even if I did study and do things better, I wouldn't have passed because it was rigged. The tests were asking me questions on chapters that I'm not supposed to read yet. It was setting me up to fail. So, That's why I was. That's why it was a long period of time where I wasn't doing much. I tried, but it was hard. But I at least did stuff on YouTube, and well, now I'm here. Honestly, I feel a lot better, and that's why college is for losers. Now, uh, well, if you're going to go to college, make sure you know what you're into. No, make sure you know what you're in for. Unfortunately, well, I did. I knew what I was going in for. I even went into the orientation, and they gave me the everything, but no one would expect your exam. No one would expect your tests to literally be rigged. And it's funny because, like, at some point, some of the other students didn't think I was telling the truth when I told them the tests were setting me up to fail. Oh, my friend Jericho did kind of want to believe me, I guess, because, like, you know, I was his bud, so it's not like he wanted to see me as a crazy dude. But it was until he finally saw it for himself and everyone else that they realized, yeah, I was up to something. They knew I knew something. It was shocking, too, that I was right. But I'm always right about the things that I don't want to be right about. You ever have those? That you're you're always right about something, but only when it's something you don't like. Oh no, the president of the United States is killing everybody with mustaches. And you don't believe it until suddenly people are dying with mustaches. It's like basically that, except on a very small scale. You don't want to be right about the things that are bad, but you end up doing it. And that's my life. So let's check out this guy. He's got a stone. Oh, he killed him. He beat him. Yo, he did it. Alright, now whack him in the face. Oh, yeah. Let's see. What else can I tell? I like telling stories, honestly. That helped me talk actually more. I'm trying to talk more in my streams because sometimes I go quiet. That's because I'm playing a game and I'm not exactly the most multitasking guy. Let me see. What else can I do? So let me see. What is the thing that happened in my life? All right. I can tell a story of. I can't think of something right now, but there is one thing I can say, I can talk about. One thing I didn't tell my dad before. My dad never. When I tried to tell my dad, he was suddenly eating something. He was like, "Son, I don't want to hear a story." And I was like, "All right, old man, be old." And so, it's minor PTSD that I have. Now, when I was young, like, what was it? 9, 10 years old, probably. No, maybe I was 9 and 8. It was somewhere around there. I had a goldfish tank that has now become, well, another tank, but it's no longer there. I don't know where that tank went, but it was nice. It was beautiful. I liked the color. But I remember how beautiful it was and how nice it looked. And how fishy. Yes, I named him Fishy. I didn't know. There was a lot of others, but he survived like 3 years. I realized realize that goldfish can last far longer, but 3 years to me was long for a fish. I realize goldfish can live to 15 years.
What?
But I don't know what they do to last that long. Either way. So, I often liked to get those cleaner fish. You know those ones that you have, the ones that basically clean, like tank cleaners. That's what they are. They like black. They stick to the wall and they sucky sucky. So I had one of those, and they were super cool. And so this is so confusing because I don't know how it happened, but I'm just gonna say it. One day when I was looking into the tank, I was reaching for something. I was taking out something because I was gonna clean it. I then looked under the bridge, like it's one of those like fish homes, you know, the ones that you little thing, your SpongeBob house. Well, this one had like a small bridge under it, and right under it was staring directly at me a dead cleaner fish, who was not black but pale white with beady black eyes staring at me. I legitimately screamed that moment. Surprisingly, my dad didn't come in, and eventually I had to tell my dad that there was a dead fish that I refused to get near. I accidentally touched it, and it was staring at me. It was limp. It was just floating. But it wasn't even like on the top. It was sitting on the bottom, floating it, staring at me. I almost wondered if it was still alive. But I didn't tell because all I could think of was, what the hell is that? I don't know what that was. And that is why I have a small, somewhat PTSD-like fear when I see axolotls. Because when I saw that creature, it had the very similar face to an axolotl. And so that is why I have a somewhat fear of axolotls, because of a childhood trauma. I've had nightmares of axolotls. I can't stare at one without thinking about that.
Yep.
I get it. It was a dead fish. I mean, okay, they're pretty terrifying to look at. Look, I get it. Things happen. But holy crap. That's just terrifying. That's why I have a fear of axolotls. I don't even know if my dad knows about that. I don't think he even remembers, but I remember. I remember. I remember very well. And I won't forget. I'll never forget. I killed you. I got you. Oh, he's still chasing that thing. What was he doing? Why is he going after him? Okay, there, I beat it up. Are you happy now? Now he just doesn't know what he's doing. Well, I'm gonna probably stop the stream soon. I hear my dad out there, and I want to say hi to my beautiful daddy, because he's a good good dad. He does his best. He's gonna make sure his son is happy. But before I do, I have one other story I want to tell. Another childhood fear I had. Let me see. So, one of the weirdest. How do I describe it? Okay. One of the weirdest, very specific spheres that I have. Did I say fears or spears? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I don't have a spear yet. One of the specific fears that I have is based on a dream I had so long ago where I woke up screaming. So, obviously, every kid has fears of somebody kidnapping them, but specifically, this fear was really creepy. I had a dream where I was in my backyard on the patio, and somebody was a male. He was a white male. He looked probably very late 20s or early 30s. He had like a blue shirt. He was texting. He was texting on a cell phone. And that's when I realized this was made in 2006. Or this was made in 2005. This was a whole year before I even knew what an iPhone was, or even where cell phones were even a thing. I almost wonder, did my mind create a cell phone and without even knowing it was a cell phone? I have no idea, but either way, he was texting on his cell phone. And I was like talking to him. I was trying to ask, hey, yo, is there something up? And then he started walking towards me, but he was still looking at the phone. And suddenly he grabbed me and screamed at the top of his lungs.
What?
And that's when I woke up. I had no idea what that was. It was probably one of the most deranged kidnappings I have ever seen or even heard of. And yes, I still remember that dream from like 2005. I was like 3 or something. Hey, I remember a lot of things. For example, for some reason, I have this very specific memory of being in a hospital in a very tall building. Or at least it was tall in my head. It was a lot of red brick buildings. It was a general city. Or at least there was grass outside. It looked like a parking lot. But for some reason, in my head, I was thinking that was the hospital I was born at. But why do I have that memory? Do babies open their eyes 24 hours after they're born? I'm not sure. But for some reason, that's a memory I have, and it's been stuck with me for my whole life. I don't know why, and I had that memory since I was like 4, 3, hell, I think maybe even 2 years old. I had that. A memory my dad does not believe I have, but very, very clearly remember it. I realized, like, the red buildings and stuff could have been San Antonio. Because I looked on Google Maps and San Antonio looked almost exactly like... Because I was born there. I was born in San Antonio. And it could have possibly been that. I don't know. I don't know if I ever went into the city or not. I never asked my dad. And it's unlikely he'd remember. Because he's old and he's got dementia now. He's forgetting about his son. He's calling me Alex. He's calling for my mom, and she's been dead for years.
Yeah.
my dad's probably in the room right now, sharpening pencils for my first day of school because he thinks it's my first day of school. Also, my dad forgets to turn off the coffee pot, so that's how you know my dad's truly lost it.
What?
Well, anyways, I'm gonna stop the stream now. I'm gonna have to get my dad his medication and put him back in the home. But first, I have to pet Rojas. He's so beautiful. He's a big boy. Look at this big old belly. Look at him.